Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to lead us in a moment of silence for Alex Killip, a member of the incoming class of 2024, who passed away very unexpectedly a few weeks ago. Tonight, on behalf of all of us in the Middleborough High School community, in Greater Middleborough Public Schools, we just want to let his family know that we're keeping him and his family in our thoughts this evening. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to invite Carissa Chain, President of the Class of 2020, to the podium.
At this time, I would like to invite the Class of 2020 Vice President Olivia Ventresca to the podium to lead us in the Pledge to the Flag.
If you could all please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could all please remain standing for the national anthem.
Thank you, and please be seated. Welcome to the Middleborough High School graduation exercise for the class of 2020. On behalf of the 176 graduates seated here today, we welcome members of the school committee, Mr. Brian Lynch, Superintendent of Schools, administrators and teachers from across the district, community leaders, Middleborough police and fire personnel, and family and friends. This is a very special day for all who gathered here, and at this time, it is an honor to introduce the Superintendent of Middleborough Public Schools, Mr. Brian Lynch.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the school committee, Middleborough High School administration, faculty and staff, district administrators, honored guests, parents, guardians, grandparents, family and friends, Chief Joe Perkins and officers of the Middleborough Police Department, first responders, community members, and most importantly, the Middleborough High School class of 2020. To begin, I want to send out a very special thank you to Middleborough High School principals, Mr. Paul Brannigan, and his administration, and Christine Thomas, advisor to the senior class, for sticking with this class and making sure that you receive the celebration and recognition that you truly deserve. From the once-in-a-lifetime class of 2020 car parade through the town, to individualized class of 2020 signs brought to each of your homes on a Saturday afternoon in June, to a Boston Tavern special senior breakfast, to upwards of a dozen mini graduations for those who couldn't make it here today, to this slightly delayed celebration of Senior Week, and this live, in-person graduation. I can say with good confidence that we would have all preferred to have a more traditional senior celebration, that's for sure. But under some of the most challenging of circumstances, Mr. Brannigan, you pulled it off. Thanks, Bran. So it's with a great sense of pride and humility that I stand before you today as your superintendent of schools, and I speak for the entire Middleborough school community and the Middleborough community in general, when I say to each member of this class, congratulations upon your graduation from the Middleborough High School. It was 41 years ago that I myself graduated as a member of the Middleborough High School class of 1979, and I just met a former classmate. And it was a great day in my life. It may not have hit you just yet, but this is a milestone event in your life, one which you'll remember for a very, very long time. As a community member and your superintendent, I have watched you all grow into the great group of graduates you're here today. I have seen you competing on the athletic field and tracks, providing community service, marching in Veterans Day, Christmas, Memorial Day parades, your community work with the elderly and the young, your volunteer work in your local churches, as well as your tireless efforts to achieve the highest ranks in music and scouting programs, does not go unnoticed in the greater Middleborough community and beyond. You have all achieved the high standards necessary to be called graduates. You are now role models for generations to come. And not only for your accomplishments, but having completed them under the circumstances during your senior year, which you did. Before your freshman year, I can recall with great optimism the class representative sitting at Crazy Days selling 2020 swag and Middleborough High School water bottles. And I understand there's still some in the cellar at the chain house. This continued throughout the years, and you ended up being one of the more active classes that Middleborough High School has ever seen, and congratulations for that. You are indeed a class recognized for the level of service you have provided within your community and your region. You have walked for water, walked for hunger, provided for the needy with such activities as Eat to Heat, as well as the making of 6,000 sandwiches for the Jimmy Fund Walk. You've been best buddies and helped the larger community by helping to organize such activities as the Bat Run, Challenger Little League, and the Special Olympics. You have provided service and comfort to others. In doing so, you've advanced your own core values by developing your own capacity to be kind and compassionate human beings, whether you realize it or not. Further, when I have seen you in assemblies or working in groups or teams, the respect you have for each other, as well as the sportsmanship toward others, is noticeable and characteristic of your class. This respect for oneself and others is a strong core value you've developed here. It was once said that greatness and excellence can only be attained if you care more than others think is wise, risk more than others think is safe, dream more than others think is safe, dream more than others think is possible, and expect more than others think is possible. Excuse me, sweat. My hope is that you, moving forward from today, will always think back fondly upon your days with us and continue to live these core values. As author Mandy Hale once said, strive for the greater common good, simply by being good to each other and by treating people with respect. For if you do this, you will be remembered more for your kindness than any level of success that you could possibly attain in this life. You have learned this from your upbringing. Simply put, act with humility and only do unto others as you would have done unto you. Being grounded in these core values, such as humility, kindness, and respect, begins at home, and your homes and extended homes are certainly represented here today as you look around you in this small but very important crowd. I would like to take this opportunity to invite all those relatives and friends who are here upon the special invitation of our class of 2020 graduating today to stand up, please, and be recognized. Come on, guests. You're here. Now, could the graduates of this class please rise and let your special guests present here know how much they mean to you in your own way. Thank you. As I have stated at the conclusion of most of my graduation speeches in the past, I am a firm believer in the old saying that the mind can only absorb what the seat and the heat can endure. So I will conclude my remarks today by saying to this class, enjoy this great day. You have shown the entire Middleborough community how you finish strong and how you remarkably resilient a senior class can be. Your year started with Triple E and ended with this horrific pandemic, and you've remained sachem strong. The history of Middleborough will long remember you with great favor as the 49th class to graduate from that beautiful beast of a building over my right shoulder. Congratulations. But you're also the first class to graduate on this brand new field. Congratulations. And you made it. You've earned it. You deserve it. You deserve to be celebrated and applauded. You should all be very proud of your accomplishments. And on behalf of the Middleborough School Committee, the Middleborough Public Schools, and the entire Middleborough community, I say congratulations and thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce our principal, Mr. Paul Brannigan.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Just a few quick just household items as we're in a really unconventional graduation this year. If you need to use the restrooms, we're using the gym locker rooms. The men's locker room is the closest to us at the field, and the women's locker room is the furthest away. The gym doors are open, so and they are ready for anybody who may need a restroom. Bottled water is there for you, and if anyone needs more, we have plenty of volunteers that will help if needed. And we're just asking that while you're sitting at your seats that you just have your masks on, please. At this time, it is with great pleasure to introduce to you the valedictorian of the Middleborough High School class of 2020. If you would give a nice round of applause, please, to Jade Elsa Albadovar.
Hello and good evening to all the family, friends, staff and teachers, phones that are recording, and most of all, the distinguished class of 2020 sitting in front of me. If you had told me I would be giving a graduation speech in August with strict protocols, limited guests, masks, and a re-sparked interest in Bath & Body Works hand sanitizer, I would not have believed you. This graduation ceremony, following the theme of 2020, is something we had to go through great lengths to attend and have the ability to celebrate with this crowd once more as we prepare to move on from an environment that many of us have considered a second home. A lot of us have spent more time here than our actual homes. This speaks to the energy and adaptability the class of 2020 has always had. Reflecting back on our 4 years of high school, I could not think of a better class to deal with the unbelievable amount life has thrown at us recently. During these 4 years, we have endured so much, but hidden behind the normal trials and tribulations that come with high school, we have all had moments that have formed the people we are today sitting in these seats. While we may have been too stressed, too distracted, or too young and naive to see it in the moment, these small inspirations and actions will have a lasting effect as we as a class move into the next chapter of our lives. These moments could have been as small as getting through a difficult exam and passing, or simply surviving a day in high school with zero patience or energy, to as exponential as meeting someone who convinced you were capable of something more, finding a passion you didn't know you had, or deciding a future will embody the truest form of who you are. I know some of us will look back at high school and say the best part was eating lunch, having headphones, or simply leaving. Others will walk away with all the large events with them, such as prom, a big tournament game, their best performance on stage, their favorite student council event, or any other moment they deemed as important. What you choose to remember about these 4 years is up to you, but these inspirations and personality-shaping moments are something that will be ingrained in us for the rest of our lives. These small or large moments are a web of interactions that make us who we are, who we will become as we look to the future, and I encourage all of you to seek them out as you continue in life. When I look at the class of 2020 in front of me and think about all that you as not only students, but as young adults have accomplished, I become hopeful. Hopeful that we can walk away after this and build the future we want, become the people we seek to be, and live a life with a newfound appreciation for all the experiences we will have. If there is one skill I can confidently say we will walk away with, it is the ability to appreciate all these moments in the moment, as there is no way to know when they will be taken away. You may not miss the stress of schoolwork, the ceiling collapsing as you walk by, or waking up at 6 o'clock every day. I know for a fact I won't, and that's okay. Because when it comes down to it, high school is so much more than its worst moments. I myself have been remembering high school as I prepare to say goodbye to a community I've dedicated so much time to, and even the worst moments are ones I'm thankful I had. Because without this collective sum of moments, big and small, that have resonated with me, my best days and my worst, I would not be here today speaking to you all as the truest version of myself I can be. That being said, I would like to issue a quick apology to those that have dealt with me on those bad days. You guys are a different level of patient and kind. I would like to say a quick thank you to my mom and dad for the unconditional love and support, my sister for being my built-in best friend, my friends and family for helping shape the person I am today, and all the amazing faculty and staff that helped me reach my full potential. As my teachers, you all taught me so much more than math equations, general trivia questions, and how to cram all my work into the morning it's due. Lastly, thank you to the class of 2020, my peers, classmates, and friends. I'm so proud of you all and have no doubt that everyone here will be successful in whatever way they choose to define the word for themselves. I know you all will lead amazing lives and make the most of what the future holds for you, and I cannot wait to see what all of you do with your collective sum of inspirations, people, moments, and now memories. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jade. A beautiful speech today. And at this time, I would like to introduce the Salutatorian for the Middleborough High School class of 2020. A nice round of applause, please, for Lauren Kate Harrington.
Everyone makes that look so easy. Dear class of 2020, I would like you all to take this next moment and think about the biggest thing you missed out on this spring. Whether it was a trip, prom, performance, or game, take what you were most excited for and imagine exactly how you believe it would have gone. Now that you have it created in your mind, think about how you would have felt. Forget the grief of its cancellation and focus on how incredible you would have felt in that picture-perfect moment. Maybe it's an exhilarating energy and joy, or a sense of pride after accomplishing a goal you've dreamt of reaching. Whatever it is, hold on to that feeling and know that it is still waiting for you. Maybe you wanted it to happen at high school events with high school friends, but I promise that just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. And when it does, it'll be that much better because you had to fight through all this to get it. To quote Margaret Atwood, I believe there can be no light without shadow, or rather, no shadow unless there is also light. I think we can all agree that these past few months have been quite dark, but yet there was still a source of light. Seeking it out, either on your own or with the help from others, is a sign of resilience, a trait you all proved you had when you made the best of an unprecedented situation. As you move on in life, I hope you keep in mind that there is always a source of light. This means that there is also always a shadow to dull the shine, but you must ignore this and bask in the light as much as you can. Our generation grew up with the internet providing us an infinite abyss of information at our fingertips. While many believe this has made us obsessed with our screens, it has actually taught us how to connect with those around the world better than anyone before us and turned us into sponges that constantly crave more knowledge. It's what helped us shift into a socially distanced world where we couldn't be near the ones we loved and needed new outlets to cope with the changes. And it is these virtues that push us forward, even if we jump blindly. Regardless of our future plans, we are plunging into a new adventure with a drive to implement change and connect a world that is simply distant. As you go about these adventures, I highly suggest you reflect on who led you to them. For me, it's my mom, my absolute best friend. It's also my dad, who taught me what a strong work ethic looks like. It's my brother, who makes me laugh ridiculously hard, my friends, who understand every part of me, and the teachers who constantly remind me to step back and look at the big picture. These are the sources of strength that push me forward. I hope you all show gratitude for your own. We wouldn't have made it here today without the virtues these people have given us. And as we go about our lives, we will often lean in on them when they come in handy. The class of 2020 is one for history books. However, we won't go down as a group whose senior year was ripped away from them. We will be remembered for our eagerness to change what others couldn't and our constant change for emotional highs we itch for in isolation. There is an endless supply of picture-perfect moments for all of you. and I hope you always work to seek them out and know you'll never hit a limit. Thank you.
Lauren, thank you very much. Outstanding job. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Brian Lynch over here to the presentation table to present two special commemorative plaques to our Valedictorian and Salutatorian. I'll have Mr. Lynch make his way over to our table. And if Lauren and Jade, if you would be so kind to meet Mr. Lynch up at the table and take your plaques, and then just like senior last assembly, if you would have if you would stand at kind of one of those X's. Come on up, please. A nice round of applause for our Valence Sal. The gowns are coming in handy. These plaques are part of our Wall of Scholars. Middleborough High School's Wall of Scholars originated in 2006 under the leadership of Principal Catherine Flaherty as a gift from the class of 2006. Each year thereafter, the Valedictorian and Salutatorian are represented on the Wall of Scholars with a commemorative plaque. We congratulate this year's Valedictorian, Jade Almodovar, and Salutatorian, Lauren Harrington, and present them with their copy of the commemorative plaque, and their names will take place not only in the current high school, but their names will be moved into the new high school. Jade will be attending the University of Southern California, majoring in biochemical engineering, and Lauren is heading off to the University of New Hampshire, majoring in communication science and disorders. Congratulations to our Val and Sal. We're beyond proud of the both of you. And Mr. Lynch, thank you very much. And before I move forward, I do need to do one item from last night because I made a mistake last evening. If Mason Pina Souza could please stand. It's important to note that Mason Pina Souza last night, that I accidentally skipped his name. So Mason is a member of our ROCAP, or our History Honor Society, as well as our English Honor Society. So Mason, congratulations, and thank you for your leadership and your academic excellence. Good evening, everyone. I cannot believe we are actually doing this. Welcome to the unprecedented graduation ceremony for the Middleborough High School graduating class of 2020. This evening is quite special for all of us. This evening, it is with great uncertainty whether we were going to be able to pull off such an event with the numerous and sometimes confusing guidance. Tonight is a night we celebrate conviction. Tonight is a night that we celebrate strength and determination. Tonight is a night that we celebrate the class of 2020, who will go down in history as the class who rewrote the definition of the words perseverance and resilience. It is important to recognize two amazing educators who retired this year from Middleborough High School, Mrs. Donnie Jameson, assistant principal, and Mr. Jim Michael, Russian teacher. These two outstanding educators changed countless lives and inspired all. An absolute round of applause. Donnie and Jim, thank you for all that you have given to this community, and please know that we will miss the both of you terribly. On behalf of the entire MHS community, we wish you both well as you begin the next chapter of your lives with retirement. I think they picked a great time to do it as well. To the class of 2020, welcome back to the place that you have called home for the last 4 years. Welcome to the place that you have shaped into a better school and made each of us better educators. Please know how much we have missed your laughter, your leadership, your talent, your friendship, and your smiles, even under those masks. To the parents and guardians and friends who are here this evening to celebrate the significant accomplishments of this tremendous class, welcome to the new Middleborough High School Stadium. On behalf of the entire faculty and staff, we thank you for your partnership, your commitment, and support of our school. Your kindness, your patience, and understanding is what allows us to be here today. On a personal level, I want to thank you for your partnership and friendship over the years. It has been an honor to work with your children. Thank you for allowing them to attend our school. We are better because of each of your families. It is important to take a moment and thank Mr. Brian Lynch, Superintendent of Schools, the Middleborough School Committee, Mr. Jim Hutchinson, Director of Facilities, for your support in making the events over the last few days, especially this graduation ceremony, happen. Also, a special note of thanks to the Middleborough Board of Health for their support and guidance. And lastly, I would be remiss not to thank the Fontaine Brothers Construction Company and Compass Property Management, who have been instrumental in the building of our new high school, which has come into life directly behind me, for their leadership and commitment to ensure that this facility tonight would be ready to host an outdoor event. We are beyond grateful for their partnership. To the class of 2020, words cannot describe the emotion of seeing you all here this evening. Your senior year began like all other celebrations that come with being a senior. There was so much engagement and pride as you welcomed the freshmen into your home. You made your mark on the fields, even though that they were located all over town. To the golf team, who made history by being named the South Shore League champions, a first for our school. You made your mark on the stage with the production of The Crucible. This class danced the night away at your annual homecoming and winter ball. The student council distributed hundreds of gifts to children in need during the holidays, and how you went on your quest for leadership at your annual lock-in. What a night that was. The excitement when Shrek graced the stage for an outstanding musical. The GSA cookie parties, which became an event for the entire school to come together to foster a school of acceptance. So proud of what this organization has done. This class has done it all. To our winter sports teams for their passion in electrifying our gym each and every game, watching the track team break records at the Reggie Lewis Center, and in the celebration of the girls basketball team going deep into the tournament. Again, history in the making. I will never forget the evening of the home tournament game for the basketball team. The pride and spirit of our school came to life on that night in late February, when our school packed the gym to watch our girls make history. However, that evening, little did we know of how much our lives would change collectively in a moment. All of these events and the many more have always just been that, moments, things, events. But rarely do we look at them as the highlight, the essence, the pinnacle of a senior year. On March 12th, 2020, you walked out of your beloved school for the very last time, not knowing what was to come. At first, we thought it would be just a few days, then a few weeks, and then the announcement that we would not return. What was missed seemed to be indescribable in emotion for the loss, what was lost for this class. The band trip, the Pops concert, Florida, spring sports, awards nights, that's entertainment, the art shows, and those unbelievable special final moments of your senior year. However, what you did crush was the senior skip day, so you can drop the mic on that one. All of these losses were incredibly difficult for everyone. However, this class demonstrated such perseverance and resiliency through each and every moment of closure. You supported each other, you celebrated each other by posting positive messages on your social media pages and celebrating the next chapters of your lives. The loss of your senior year made me realize what you actually gave to the high school those months that we were together, going through the annual events with little celebration perhaps, and understanding of the importance of cherishing each and every moment that we were together. As your principal, I know that there were moments in your journey of high school that were not the best. I know that there were moments where you want to pack it up and call it quits. However, those moments prepared you for the most difficult challenge we have faced collectively. Please know how grateful I am for each of you and for what you have brought to the fabric of our school. Each of you are woven into the narrative of our story. Each of you are leaving your mark in the classroom, athletic field, the stage, and the art rooms. Each of you have left a gift of strength that I only hope that the future classes will emulate. As you know, I placed your pictures as a collage in the cafeteria proudly on the wall. Each time I walked through our empty school, I would make my way to the cafeteria and take a moment to reflect on each of you and what you have given to our school. I have always looked at you as if you were my own children, and I am thankful that you've allowed for me to be a part of your lives during your time here. This class is historic for many reasons. Your class opened the new kindergarten in 2007 with Mrs. Levesque as your principal, who is here this evening to be part of your celebration. Your class, welcome Mrs. Levesque. Your class will close the final chapter of the beloved Middleborough High School as we prepare to move into the new building in February. I envisioned our final graduation in the MHS gym, addressing the final event in our current school. I had the entire message planned. However, we know that is not possible. However, what I learned is the time capsule that this created group of seniors left for MHS on that day in March. You are the heartbeat of our school. The pulse and the spirit of our school is you. The gift you have left behind is unimaginable. What you have left behind for generations of future students will be something that we can never repay. I know this energy, connection, and love of this class will carry into the new MHS. And I know if there was ever a group of people that I would want to help turn off the lights for the final time in our current home, it is each of you. Thank you for your legacy you were leaving behind. We will never forget you. Lastly, as your principal, I'm supposed to give you some charge to take with you through life. I should create some vision that would align with the meaning of the class of 2020. However, I feel it is unnecessary to give you a mission you were already doing. This class has demonstrated how to overcome obstacles and persevere through challenging times and ensure that you take care of yourself and those around you. You have been essential workers, many helping provide for your family, not only during a health crisis, but an economics crisis that COVID-19 has caused for so many. You became an adult very quickly, and for that, many of us could take a note from you. I should give you some mission to go and change the world. This is something that you are doing each and every day, using your voice to fight for justice and foster a world based upon acceptance and peace. Continue to use your voice for change and equality no matter where life takes you. Use your voice for love, not hate. James Baldwin, an American novelist, stated, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." To the class of 2020, take what you have learned here and know that you are ready to enter the world and determine your pathway of life. Take the pride, love, and feeling of acceptance you have learned here and take it with you and spread it throughout the world, because it truly needs it. We have learned so much from each of you. We are inspired by you and know we will never forget you. In closing, please know that you will always have a home right here at MHS. Please know that the doors of your school, well, the new one, will always be open for you. As you close this never-ending chapter of your senior year today, there is never a time more than now to ensure that you will change the world. Make a difference. Be the change. Love like you have never loved before. Help those in need. Be a leader within your community. Find something that you love and create something amazing. And lastly, never stop being Sachem Strong. Never stop leading. To the class of 2020, on behalf of the entire MHS community, we wish you well, and we know that you will light the world on fire through the impact you will make. We will truly miss one of the all-time greatest classes to ever wear the orange and black. We will miss you. We will always be proud of you, and always remember to be good to each other. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you. We will miss all of you. Thank you. As we continue, we need to do a special recognition we always do each and every year at our graduation exercises. There are 4 students who have committed to and who will be going into the armed forces in the months following graduation, and many are not here tonight because they've already have made their way off to boot camp. I would like to take a moment and recognize these students. It is a great honor to ask the following to stand at your seat to be recognized. Riley Ann Lonergan, U.S. Army, who is not here this evening. Evan Michael McGuff, U.S. Army. Joseph Daniel Ricker, U.S. Army. He is already in boot camp. And lastly, Jared Allen Jackson Zapata, the U.S. Navy. So to Jared and to Evan and to Joe and Riley, we wish you all well. And now, on behalf of our school, I am honored to share, and I think it's only fitting for this graduation class, a very special song that has defined our school community, and truly our village. Enjoy. I do want to take one moment and recognize the Middleborough High School senior members of the Chamber Strings under the direction of Mr. Justin Pitsley. The processional music you heard tonight was actually recorded by those members. So if those members of the Chamber Strings could just stand for just one brief moment so we could just say thank you and recognize your hard work, if you wouldn't mind. So congratulations and thank you for doing that. The guidance of doing live music was not easy for this event. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Tori Warner to the podium to share her reflection of being a member of the class of 2020.
Whoever decided to have me follow up to Bran, not cool, but whatever. Good evening, MHS. Class of 2020, wow. That's all I have to say. Wow. You guys know me. I love talking. But when thinking about what to write to all of you, I think for the first time in my life, I was speechless. Don't get me wrong. I knew we were different and that we were going to go out with a bang. But this? How do you even fit into words what we've gone through? How do you talk about something that even now, months later, I still can't wrap my head around? How can I, in the best way possible, attempt to give some ounce of justice to all of you and thank you for what you have given me throughout these years? It's impossible. But if there's anything I've learned at MHS, aside from the Pythagorean theorem, of course, it is that all of you like to defy what seems impossible. Now, I don't want to spend much of my time talking about what we've gone through the last few months of high school. This hard time doesn't even come close to defining everything that our class represents, believe it or not. And I think we can all agree that Corona has taken up enough of all of our time already. But let me just say this. If I had the opportunity to go back and have this happen to any other class, the opportunity to give us that typical long-awaited ending to our senior year that we had always hoped and dreamt for, I wouldn't. If there is any group of people who would be able to handle these circumstances, it's us. If there is any group of people who are able to find positives in some of the darkest times, it is all of you. We have once again proven to everyone that we are a force to be reckoned with. It might have been stormy, but rain doesn't last forever. And today the sun rised and the birds chirped. And my mom even put her dating life on hold. And it's a Saturday night, so that's a big deal. And most importantly, I get to see all of your faces in person, all together, one last time, when I sat at home for months and thought about the chance I would never get to see this moment. We did it, guys. It happened, and now we've gotten through it. And we can look back and watch ourselves prevail through hard times like we all knew we could. As we transition from high school to the next chapter in our lives, a lot is up in the air. They tell you that nothing can prepare you after high school. Nothing is like the real world. This is the point in our life where everything changes. The thought of that used to scare me. Like, scare me more than walking past Miss Jameson with a cute but kind of risky skirt on, waiting to get dress coded sort of thing. Were we actually ready? It felt like only a few days ago I went to middle school with my shirt inside out and was totally confused as a freshman when the seniors were making me question, is there actually a swimming pool on the 4th floor? But sitting here staring at all of your faces, I know that we are ready more than ever. I mean, have you seen Reese Marshall shoot a 3-pointer? Have you seen Erin Graham on that stage acting so well that you wondered, oh my God, is she actually crying? Like, is everything okay? Have you seen Sophia Borges's car? It's spray painted rainbow. It is art on wheels. You can't miss it. Have you seen Laura Swartz solve a math problem? I mean, have you eaten one of Kyle Maloney's famous grilled cheese sandwiches? We are in a room with actual legends. We are in a room of difference makers and leaders and athletes and stars and artists and humanitarians and singers and writers and cooks, you name it. We are in a room with people who defy odds. We are ready for whatever the world has to offer. No, I don't want to leave you guys. I hate goodbyes. I hate change. I hate the thought of never eating buffalo chicken dip from our cafeteria ever again. And I hate the thought of not seeing some of you for a long time to come. But I love knowing all the greatness that is about to be unleashed into the world. I love to think about the people I was so fortunate enough to grow up with, blessing everyone else with their presence like you did me. I love knowing that the world is just that much of a better place because you guys came along. I love knowing that my life is just that much of a better place because MHS came along. So thank you. Thank you to the teachers and faculty that I've met along the way. Chambo, you have taught me that unfortunately, no, you are not a long-lost brother of mine. And no matter what I do it with confidence because that is the least I owe myself. Mrs. Glevey, you taught me that although I was more capable of cleaning up after labs than doing actual chemistry, to never give up on myself because I was more capable than I had ever thought. And Mr. Wrench, you taught me that no, I can't eat anything in the lab. It's not edible. But also that as important as school is, how you treat people and the relationships you form is so much more important. I, of course, want to thank my mom, my dad, and siblings, and grandparents, and all my amazing friends who have been by my side through it all. I'm a lot to deal with, but you guys sure do make it look easy. And lastly, I want to say thank you, class of 2020, because you taught me that it is more than okay to be myself. You taught me that it's okay to sometimes fail as long as you get back up again. You taught me that no problem is too hard and no dream is too big. And I feel honored to say I was even a part of this class, as hard as it'll be to let all of you guys go. Now, go show the world what you're made of. Love you guys.
Well done, Tori. And I want to try one of those grilled cheese sandwiches sometimes, Kyle. At this time, I would like to invite your class president, Ms. Carissa Chain, to the podium at this time.
Good evening, parents, teachers, family, and friends, and most of all, the Middleborough High School graduating class of 2020. As we are all aware, this year certainly did not go as planned. If you had told me 3 years ago our high school graduation would be spent in the heat of August, outside as our parents and teachers sat in masks, I wouldn't put it past you. I mean, after all, our class is something else. But instead of focusing all that has occurred in the past of these 4 months, I'd like to give you all a biology lesson. I know what you're all thinking, classic Carissa talking about science, what else is new, but I promise this has a purpose. The human body is complex. However, every single human body starts with a single cell. Let's go back to September of 2007, kindergarten. I remember it clear as day, walking on the bus alongside my friend Karen McManus, with tears streaming down my face. As we sat on the bus, we started talking about the colleges we dreamed of going to. Little did we know, college would come way too fast. In the MEC, we had our first ever career day, had our classrooms trashed by leprechauns, and got to take trips to outer space from the comforts of our classroom. Most importantly, kindergarten brought us new friendships. This is where I was lucky enough to meet my first and best friend, Liv Ventresca. At this point during our Middleborough Public Schools career, we were at the cellular stage of our education experience. We formed bonds with other students and began to get a taste of what it was like to work with others. Soon after that, we ventured to elementary school. While we still had our friendships from kindergarten, we continued to form new friendships and eventually become something bigger than ourselves. Each year of elementary school came something exciting. The 3rd grade trip to Plymouth, and the musical ARF, the 4th grade crab soccer tournament and spelling bee, and the 5th grade field day and talent show. Well, after 3rd grade, our class was split and sent to 2 different schools. We remained strong. Sure, we had the occasional wolves are stronger than eagles battle, but our class always remained one. We got to experience the feeling of superiority when it was our class's turn to have the playground, and the thrill of walking to the town hall for the art show. Through these experiences, each student or cell came together with others, growing to form a human body tissue. When middle school arrived, we got to experience our first true taste of freedom. Some took the risk of trying out for sports, while others took the chance of auditioning for the musical or play. Through these experiences, we were able to see where our true passions lied. We got to experience our first awkward slow dance. We were able to make our first ever rocket with Mr. Redpath and Mr. Petruski, where Avery Thomas and I saw our beloved rocket Robert crash after 3 seconds of flight. And we got to make our first big decision of where we'd be attending high school. As we grew and matured into young adults, the tissues came together to form organs. High school was a monumental time for our class. While some of our classmates left to go to other schools, 180 of us made the best choice to attend Middleborough High School, which eventually would become a second home to all. We were able to watch our classmates thrive on the stage through performances sponsored by the music department and speech and theater workshop, on the field through athletics, in the classroom, and behind the scenes in leadership through student council. It is at this point our class formed organ systems in the human body. Each group, while vastly different from each other, worked to carry out a different function that ultimately led to what our class was, a one-of-a-kind human. A human body that cannot function without an organ system, just like our class cannot thrive without any group. Class of 2020, each and every one of you is essential to our class. Together, we can accomplish great things, and no matter the distance between us, we will always remain as one. Before I close, it is an imperative I share my thanks to everyone who has supported not only myself, but my class throughout these 4 years. To our teachers, your constant support throughout our time here at MHS is incomparable and unmatched. Your constant devotion to our class is greatly appreciated, and none of us would be the people we are today without you. To Brand and Mrs. Thomas, thank you for dealing with my constant texts and questions. You are the most supportive advisors I could have asked for, and thank you for giving the motivation I needed when I needed it most. To my best friends, words cannot describe how thankful I am for you guys. From sleepovers in Carly's basement, spontaneous in the moment adventures, to late night rides blasting She's So Gone, you guys have made these past 4 years so memorable. You were there when I needed someone to smile with and a shoulder to cry on, and I will miss you guys so much. To my sisters, Courtney and Christina, thank you for being my #1 supporters no matter the circumstance. I know we definitely do not always get along, but you will forever be my best friends. To my parents, thank you for prioritizing your children's happiness over your own on a daily basis. To my dad, I know this year was definitely not the easiest for you. However, through it all, you show me what true strength is. You are the most selfless and hardworking person I've ever met, and your dedication and love to your family is unmatched. To Mom, my biggest supporter, role model, and best friend. I know I was never the easiest to deal with my constant whining and resistance to take your advice, but your devotion to my happiness is something I will forever admire. Thank you for your guidance and advice when I insisted I was right and didn't need it, and for your endless belief in me even when I didn't believe in myself. If I become half the person you are, I will consider myself a good person. I love you to the moon, the stars, the sky, and back. And to you, class of 2020. When I stood before you all 3 years ago, explaining why you should choose to be your class president, I said the following: if all we have is 3 years left together, why don't we make the most of it? If you elected me to be your class president, I can promise you that in 3 short years, when we graduate, we will be the best class to graduate from Middleborough High School. So, class of 2020, what does the number 30 mean to you? Because that is the number of minutes we have left together until we go our separate ways. Looking at all your faces now, for once I know I was right. We will forever be the best class to graduate from Middleborough High School, and not because of me, but because of all of you. While we will all never be together in the same place again, we will forever remain one strong body, from cells to tissues to organ systems to finally one human. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it.
Thank you, Carissa. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Dizell, Mr. Sylvia, Mr. Porter, and Mrs. Healy to assist with the presentation of diplomas. And if Mr. Richard Young, a member of our chair of the Middleborough School Committee, make his way to the presentation table. And also Mr. Brian Lynch would join us as well as at the podium as well. And would Mrs. Christine Thomas, advisor of the class of 2020, will read the roll for the Middleborough High School graduating class of 2020. We're going to get this done. Each year at this point of the graduation exercises, so that we can all hear the graduate's name, we just ask that you hold your applause, but out in a stadium like this, it's not like we're in the gym. Also, when we have our photographers from Life Touch that will be here taking professional photos of the graduates as they receive their diplomas, and for ordering information, we'll be posting that on the website as well. Seniors, when you are approaching the side, a couple of notes. You are to keep your mask on as you make your way to the line. When your name is called, you may remove your mask to receive your diploma. You will walk across lane number 6. Your diploma will be placed on the presentation table. You will then make your way towards the photo booth where Mr. Porter is, and you will make your way back to your seats. The minute you reach your row, you need to put your mask back on again as you're making your way through the families getting back to your platform. With that being said, would our class marshals please rise and stand and to prepare our seniors to graduate? And would Mrs. Thomas, if you would please make your way to the presentation table. Would the first row please rise? As part of our tradition at Middleborough High School, that if there's a member of the faculty or administration who has a senior that is graduating, we've always given the honor of them presenting the diploma. And we will begin with our first graduate, Avery Susan Thomas. And now Mrs. Thomas will join me at the podium.
Mason Antonio Pina Souza. Matthew Robert DeRosiers. Olivia Marisa Ventresca. Carissa Marie Chain. Jade Elsa Almodovar. Lauren Kate Harrington. Tori Alexis Warner. Shannon Michelle Hurley. Christopher Joseph Cogan. Julie Esperanza Carrington. Greta Elizabeth Jacobson. Declan Connor Hastings. Kara Becky McManus. Nathan Scott Kerpensky. Samuel Jeffrey Haro. EJ Elizabeth White. Sydney Grace Woodlock. Sophia Rose Maria Bray Borges. Kira Ishbel Davenport. Michelle Mary Green. Jared Allen Jackson Zapata. Emily Colleen Kelleher. Erin Noel Graham. Andrew Paul Aben. Evan Lewis Adelman. Demetrius Chandler Alexander. Alyssa Marie Taylor Andrade. If Lisa White, principal of the MKG, could please come to the presentation table. Zachary Glenn Andrade. Haley Jean Arena. Tabitha Ann Babin. Eric Matthew Baldwin. Antoinette Marie Barrows. Riley Patrick Bateman. Emily Rose Benoit. Elizabeth Marie Bessie. Ian Patrick Wood Bielski. Samuel James Borges. And could I have Mr. Bill Breen, Middleborough High School Spanish teacher, to the presentation table? David Robert Breen. Andrew Joseph Brown. Griffin McGregor Bryant. Shannon May Bryant. Douglas Edward Bumpus III. Kyle Austin Bush. Tiffany Nicole Capo. Jaden Robert Cavero. Caitlin Evelyn Chandler. Aaliyah Agnes Christmas. Sella Jason Civil. Liam Christopher Cobb. Isaiah James Cobbs. Mariah Candace Cobbs. Malls Lynn Correa. Aiden James Croak. Samantha Nicole Crowley. Daniel Owen Damon. Jacob Andrew DeLuca. Devin Adam DeRocha. Dylan Curtis Donahue. Jordan Joseph Drew. Ella Louise Farino. Julia Marie Fitzpatrick. Alina J. Freitas. Aiden Christopher Gallagher. Hillary Janine Girardi. Sarah Nicole Gibson. Paul Henry Giovanovi. John Harris Gobranson. Michael John Gavoni. Eric Michael Grady. Michael Lawrence Grant. Sophia Marie Grasso. Rochelle Marie Gilmet. Ryan Patrick Hallisey. Nicole Ann Hart. Christian Ford Hathaway. Leah Mackenzie Hayes. Megan Jessica Hubbard. Kyle Isaiah Ingram. And I would ask Mr. Richard Oakley, school committee member, to come to the presentation table. Michael Dexter Jabajorian. You good? Kyle Robert Johnson. Alec Rayner Joseph. Alexander James King. Michael Thomas Kaminsky. Kylie Elizabeth Kruger. Christopher James Cundis. Andrew Michael Labby. Katerina Sablowski LaCroix. Allie Marie Leary. Joshua Richard Lee. Ruth Ivy Mahoney. Tyler Michael John Mackey. Kyle Christian Maloney. Reese Patrick Marcel. Nicholas Todd Martini. Erica Lynn Mason. Rachel Marie Mason. Colby Owen Matos. Abigail Jean McCarthy. Autumn Evelyn McCracken. Evan Michael McGough. Aiden Neff McKenna. Riley Foster McMorrow. Kiera McQuillan. Nicholas Robert Mello. Ryan Lee Mills. Matthew Connor Mopler. Sean Allen Morse. Brianna Cahill Murphy. Lily Ann Nee. Addison James Niemer. Aiden Charles Niemer. Jenna Louise Oldrow. Kyle Frederick Pepin. Sorry. Ashley Rose Perkins. Cole Thomas Perkins. Carly Elizabeth Peters. Taylor Lynn Poirier. Matthew Robert Poskus. Austin Jeremy Quinn. Samuel Richard Rance. Brandon Anthony Rebel. And can I ask Kim Redlawn, the special education facilitator for the Middleborough Public Schools, to come to the awards table? Caleb Michael Redlawn. Colin Paul Redlawn. Angelica Kristen De Leon Reese. Zoe Sophia Rico. Harmony Cottrell Rivers. Courtney Jenna Roberts. Jenna Marie Robichaud. Julia Madison Rose. Megan Lee Savino. Joshua Theodore William Savard. Miranda Susan Scales. Zachary William Shafino. Colby Hunter Seaman. Jacqueline Kate Silvera. Autumn Deanne Sprague. Hannah Catherine Stearns. Jack Michael Storch. Marissa Daisy Strew. Caitlin Rose Swanson. Maya Marie Thompson. Kaylee Marie Tobin. Lindsay Elizabeth Trask. Thomas Emerson Van Tassel. Isaac David Villalobos. Jacob Charles Weigel. Mackenzie Sophia Yuska. Corey Malcolm McLeod. Colton Patrick Destramp. Laura Marie Swartz.
Marshals, if you could please bring the graduates of the class of 2020 to their feet, please. It is time for the ceremonial turning of the tassels, signifying the conferring of diplomas at graduation. So at this time, would our graduates take your tassels from right to left? Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to exercise the responsibility vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Please read, as you have moved your tassels from right to left, I now pronounce you graduates of Middleborough High School. Congratulations, class of 2020. Toss those caps. To our graduates and to the families that are here tonight, just we did it. We made it to the longest senior year, I think, ever in history. We're grateful for your partnership and your patience. And as we close tonight and we shut these lights off, and as you leave this field for the class of 2020, you start life today. We know that there's uncertainty that is going to be before all of us, but we know if there's ever going to be a group of people that is going to ensure the fact that our world is right, it is going to be all of you. So it is time for you to go. And as we do this, it's important that we have a process. And this is something that I'm just going to ask for your patience on. That because of our ability to get you off of campus, but also to respect some social distancing, we're going to be playing music, but we're not doing a recessional out. So we're going to be dismissing by rows back. And that is you, as your row is dismissed, we kindly ask that you will go to your car and you will just wait in your car until the Middleborough Police Department allow the parking lots to be cleared, because we'll have a tremendous amount of people crossing the street heading to their cars. So just be patient, put on the air conditioner, enjoy that diploma, because boy, did you earn it. And just have a few moments of special time as a family. With that being said, we cannot wait to see the great things you do. And with that being said, if our Grand Marshals in rows 1 and 2, if you would please make your way off to your cars, we wish you well, class of 2020.